you just reminded me, I had a dream last night that my hair was like literally like down to my feet, super duper long.
Really?
Yeah, and I was like really excited about it because it meant I could go for a world record. Because like it had gotten that long in like a week and I didn't know how, but it suddenly accelerated a lot.
Sometimes I feel like if you straightened out these curls that you have that I'm completely fascinated by, it would be almost that long.
That was the dream. It was because it
Oh,
was
is that
started.
why?
It was that like because I feel like over the past like I don't know month or so it hasn't felt like it's been growing just because
Yeah, because it just keeps
it just
tightening up
keeps
with the curls.
curling up more and more. So the other night, I don't know if it was last night or whatever, but the other night I had a dream that I pulled it out like, oh, I wonder how far it went, and it literally just kept going and kept going and kept going all the way down to my feet.
That's so funny.
Yeah, it was weird, but it was cool. I felt like I had a cape or a robe
A cape of hair?
of hair.
Oh, curly? It was curly or it was
Well,
straight?
after I straightened it out.
Oh,
So
okay.
it
So
got
like you
straight.
literally had to straighten it to make it that long.
Yeah,
you
but it
took
was
the time
dream.
to straighten it.
It was dream.
Yeah, so it was dream time.
It
So it
was
happened
just
in a
literally
snap.
just like pull, and then it was good.
If only. This actually kind of leads me into we could do an episode about this if you
About-
want. Well, because here's where
About
I'm going
hair?
in my head. Well, about more so about like, you know how you have those qualities. Like every time I see your hair, I'm completely jealous because my hair is stick straight and baby fine, and I touch your hair and I'm like, it's so thick, and it's curly, and I can't like I don't even understand the thickness of your hair, and my hair is baby fine, super soft, stick
Yeah.
straight, but like it just feels like I don't have any because it's so baby fine, you know? And like I see your hair and I'm like, oh, if only I had a thick head of hair. But then I think about like, well, when it's really hot out, like my hair is hot, let alone I can't imagine having thick hair like you. But literally my ponytail is like the width of my pinky. It is so lame.
Oh.
And I have like a girlfriend who I've known my entire life, and her ponytail is like the size of my wrist. It's her hair is so thick. And I've always been, again, it's like that. I think I want the thick hair,
Uh-huh.
or I think I want the curly hair. But the reality is like, if I had it, I'd probably wish my hair was stick straight and baby fine. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, like I just touched your hair for the first time in like a billion years, and it feels like I'm petting a really soft dog. Like it's so nice. I mean that as a compliment. It's
Yeah, and it's not like if I brush it.
It feels much better than my hair feels to me.
Yeah, yours is more bristly.
Like mine is more bristly
thick,
and
yeah.
like wiry and
Yeah. And
is not as
if I
good
were
to
to brush
feel.
my hair, you would be like, or if I just got back from the salon, you would be
Mhm.
like, oh my gosh, Mom, your hair feels like silk. It does.
uh-huh.
But also, that's not enough for me to make not want your curly hair.
So if I were to brush my hair, it would be jutting out of my head at all angles, ignoring
I wondered
gravity.
about that. Like what
It gets
happens
really
if you comb
frizzy.
it? Oh, it just
It
goes
gets
to
really
frizz.
frizzy, yeah.
Oh.
Although I learned recently, I've learned so much. Nobody tells you how you're supposed to take care of your hair, or at least nobody told me.
Well, I don't know. That's
Well,
why nobody told me
Okay,
either.
okay. Well, we can learn together then.
Okay.
Did you know you're not supposed to shampoo every day?
Well, I know that most people aren't, but if I don't, I'm a grease. My hair gets greasy.
So it depends on.
So I
person.
try.
Apparently you're not supposed to shampoo. Well, I'm not supposed to shampoo every day because that's part of what made it so frizzy. But that's why you're supposed to get conditioner separate from your shampoo so that you can still condition every day, but not shampoo every day.
Well, that's interesting to me because I'm sitting here trying to remember. Yaya said when she used conditioner, I feel like she used to say conditioner made her hair fly away, which does not make sense at all to me. But she has hair more
Oh.
texture like yours, right? I don't know if it wasn't this curly, but she has thicker hair,
Mm-hmm.
like, you know. And
Yeah.
so I remember her saying she could not use conditioner because if she used conditioner, her hair would get fly away and it just didn't like style right the way she wanted.
Mm.
And so my hair is getting fly away. Baby fine, flyaway hair. I look like I have my hand on one of those like orange things that make your hair stand
that's what
up.
I get.
That's
Yeah.
what I look like. But I tried not using conditioner, and that was not better for me. It was way worse. But I don't have Yaya's kind of hair, so it makes sense. It's so interesting and fascinating. Like it's just hair. How can it be so complicated? But it is so different, and it is complicated.
Yeah. There are a few things like that are just like, I feel like people rarely talk about it. And you never get to see someone else do it, at least not since like being very, very little. If you have siblings, then maybe you would take a bath together. But like how do I know, like I could be doing it completely differently than you're quote unquote supposed to, or than everyone else does, and I had no idea. And apparently I was for a while, because I was using the shampoo wrong or whatever.
Right.
So,
And for me, I just notice when I go, because I go to the salon to get my hair cut, which is not very often anymore, because when I had short hair, I had to go all the time, or when I was coloring it, I had to go all the time. But now I don't go that often. But I just pay attention when they wash my hair, A, if I like the way it smells, and B, if I like the way my hair, works when I get home, like for the rest of the day, then I'm like, okay, what did you use? I'll buy that. Because that thing made my hair feel good and not, go fly away on me, or, I was just going to say go flat, but honestly, if I curl my hair, it's flat in an hour. Like without a bunch of hairspray and a lot of product, it does not. So I'm just like, I either need a perm. I need to go back to the 70s and get my perm, or I just need to be okay with it being straight. Or if I make it curly and don't want to just make it feel like, hairspray, then I just have to be okay with knowing that it's going to fall in an hour. Yeah, and now I want to straighten your hair and see what happens. See what it looks like. Once. You did?
Well,
I
didn't
send me pictures?
I have a picture. I'll show you right
amazing.
now.
Well, you don't have to show me right now. I feel like that's just mean. Can we post a
I'll show you after the podcast. Yeah, sure.
On the podcast page? Can we post it on Instagram and Facebook?
Sure.
Beautiful.
We could, you're allowed to change the image of the podcast in the that shows up in the podcast app by episode. We could change this episode.
Oh, really? Oh, let's do it. Just have me the picture. Can you do that?
I could do that.
That's
I don't
amazing.
think I want to.
Oh, why not?
Well, because listen, people are going to see that picture before they listen to a word of this episode. So they're just going to see
fair.
A picture of me with long hair that I took. And this is going to be a little
that's
funky.
Funny.
We'll see.
So anyway, I mean, we're talking about hair, but when we're talking about it, I really do. It's that whole the grass is greener on the other side thing. There are things in life that I covet, I guess I'll say it that way, or like I'm jealous of, or I wish I had, not in like a really unhealthy, like super attached way, but I just mean like I have like this ping of, oh, I love your hair. I wish my hair was like that. And then I don't really, but I mean, I kind of do.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the hair is definitely one of those things for me. I feel like this is going to sound really weird, but I feel like my features aren't very feminine on my face. Like I have very, Finnish and German features on my face. Maybe that's not right, but I feel like heritage wise, like I feel like my face isn't like super refined and dainty. I'm going to use that word, but then I giggle when I think about that, because if my face was that way, it super does not match my personality.
Yeah, I was just going to say, you are not very refined and dainty. I mean that as a compliment. Yeah. Like, I love you the way you are.
I giggle when I think about that, because sometimes it's like, oh, it would be so cool to be able to feel elegant, if I was dressed up. And when I'm dressed up, I don't feel elegant. I mean, not that I don't feel pretty or attractive. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, like, sometimes, you see these beautiful, gorgeous people and you're like, oh, it would be so fun to really embrace that and feel that someday, or in some way. And it's like, in some way, I suppose I do when I can, but it's super rare for me. And I do have moments where I'm like, I just wish like sometimes my features were a little more feminine. Feminine maybe isn't the right word, but like, I don't know what the word, soft. Like I have very harsh lines on my face, and and I'm not saying this in a beat myself up kind of way, but it is something that I notice when I see somebody who has like these beautiful soft features. I just go, oh, I wonder what that would be like to have a life like that. Where but then I'm also like, but my personality just super not match that. And maybe that's just me being very stereotypical, but I do think
people off their guard.
100%.
Like, oh yes, I'm
like a yoga pants and sweatshirt kind of girl. That's my favorite, or like a super comfy pair of jeans. And every now and then I get dressed up, and when I do that, it's funny, like, because I'll go in waves. I'll be like, oh, I just kind of feel like I want to be, and usually it's in the summer when the weather is nice and warm and I want to wear a dress, and everyone comments because it's so not normal to see me that way. Yeah. Do you have that? Do you have like things that you see or out in the world and you're like, oh, I just wish? Mine's all physical features.
Yeah. So, well, I was actually going to ask about that. Are you talking about specifically things that you cannot control, or is this also for things that are in your control? Like, this feeling.
Yeah, it's definitely things that I just were not given to me in this lifetime.
Okay.
Where, because I'm not the person that will go get plastic surgery to make things look a different way. It's not that kind of a thing. I mean, I'm a girl who, like, I love tattoos. I love seeing other people's tattoos, but I'm willing to do a henna tattoo.
Hmm.
because it's temporary and I feel like I will get bored. And I think that's sometimes what it is I just looking for a shift, something different. Like
Hmm.
variety is important for me, way more important than I thought, because I used to absolutely hate change and
Hmm.
it terrified me. And now I'm like, did I hate change, or was I just stuck in some old patterns and some wounds
Uh-huh.
that made me too fearful to actually realize that I actually really prefer like variety. I want things to be playful and fun and change up and unexpected sometimes. But I was also the girl who hates surprises, and sometimes I still do. It's like a weird, it's such a weird, it doesn't even make sense.
Uh-huh.
But the more I learn about the self, the more I realize there's like these interesting things that happen in my brain when I see other things out in the world.
Hmm.
You too? Or no?
Well, with what specifically? I feel like we sort of.
Well, you asked me if it was all physical stuff or if it was stuff that I couldn't change,
Mm. So you mean about the feeling of like coveting how other people are, or at least wondering what it would be like if I were that way?
Yeah, coveting is a strong word that I did use.
Uh-huh.
But it's not, that's a really deep word and it's not really like that
Right.
for me. It's
Yeah.
like this ping of like,
There's
oh, I
air
wonder what that
quotes
would be like.
around
Yeah.
coveting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure I do. I think for me it's a lot more um like things that are I don't feel that way super physically about people. Like sure, are there things like if I had 100% control over how my body looks, there are things I would change. Sure. Yeah, of course. I don't think there are many people, if anyone, who doesn't feel that way. Or like who wouldn't if, they had the choice or whatever. But I don't think about that a lot. It's not something I think about really when I see other people. For me, it's a lot more of like people who have a talent or propensity for something that I do not.
That's funny because I was just thinking that's my other one. And I would just equate it to intelligence.
Oh
Like
yeah,
how easy some things come to some people. Like I have to
right.
work hard to learn something. I have to do it over and
Yeah.
over and over and over again.
Hmm.
And then I got it once I got it, but it takes me a while to get there. And
Hmm.
sometimes I wish it just came a little bit easier for
Hmm.
me. When I see other people, I'm like, oh, and I don't know. I'm making it sound like I do this big comparison thing all the time. It's not like that. It
Right.
doesn't like bring me down, or it's
Right.
more of an intriguing, like, oh, I wonder what that would be like,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. Like I feel that way. I guess one thing that I definitely can't control that I wish I had more of is like I think I'm tone deaf to some extent at least. Like in
Oh, really?
terms of like being able to tell the difference between notes in a vacuum. Like I obviously like I love music and so I don't know if like maybe tone deaf is a thing that is deeper than what I'm experiencing, but I definitely like hearing two notes. I can't always tell which one's higher or lower than the other if they're relatively close, and like I can't always like definitely if there's like a chord or more than one note happening at once, it all meshes together into a like an experience, a singular experience, and my brain can't break it down into the individual notes or pieces or anything like that. So musically, it's like I am very much like that is part of why music is so like magical to me is because I can't like I can learn music theory a little bit, although even that's hard for me. But I can like I've learned a bit and like I can know a little bit, but I can't like when I listen to music, I can't think of it through that lens.
Mm.
Um, so so the experience is more than the sum of its parts to me because my brain doesn't break it down into its parts. Um,
Right. That's
but
interesting.
which is like I maybe that's part of the reason why I love music, but to me it's kind of frustrating because I wish I could because I would love to be able to create music in that way. And I've like not that this is something that I not that this means I can't make music, but it definitely makes it harder for me, I think. So that's one example of something that I feel that way about. Like for some people, music comes way easier than it does for me, I think.
Yeah, you're just bringing more layers in for me because I used to work at a music college, right? And the
Hmm.
talent there was spectacular. And I found myself in awe of like their talents and what they could do and all of that. And that was yeah, there's layers of it, right? Because some things I'm more in awe of. And would it be cool if I could do that or if I did have that talent or skill? Yes, but it's not something I necessarily like. I don't go into that moment of desire for a brief second thinking, oh, I don't know. I'm thinking about my brother-in-law's dad who could just play anything by ear on the
Hmm.
accordion, for goodness sake, you know? And it was
Right.
just like, oh my God, this talent is amazing. You
Yeah.
just, or like, even like he would be like, oh, I don't know that song. And then they'd go, it goes like this. And he'd go, oh, you mean this one? And he would just like download. I swear he was just getting downloads where it would just like come in through his, head and come out his fingers. And he didn't even have to think about it. And I was like, whoa, that's amazing.
Uh-huh.
But that just makes me think to how we all have our own unique gifts and how cool it is that we all have different ones.
Mhm.
And I love being fascinated by and in awe of other people's gifts, whether it be, physical features or raw talent or
Mhm.
their brains. I don't know. I just think I like to, it's not so much a comparison game. It's more of a appreciation. And depending on what it is, there's definitely things that can also bring me into that space of like, oh, I feel ugly today. And now I'm, shaming myself. I can do those sort of things too. But most of
Mhm.
this, as I've done the work and grown up,
Uh-huh.
I am definitely more in just appreciation and in awe and wonder of, God, I wonder how they did that. Or, how much time did that take? Or is this literally just something that, you were born with this tendency for this talent? And how cool is that? And lovely that you're bringing it into the world. I wonder how many people have things that they haven't discovered yet or that are uncovered that they
Mhm.
haven't brought into the world yet. And then like, what does that look like when they do, when they find it? That's cool.
Yeah.
It's cool to ponder.
Hmm.
That's where we went from
So,
hair.
yeah. So, hi, and welcome to Hypothetically Intentional. Here at about, what is it, 40 minutes, 30 minutes into it? Something like that.
Yeah, this
We,
one was kind of long and obscure. This was not planned. This was like,
well, yeah, we just started talking and then I was like, we should hit record. And my thought at that time was, oh, this will just be like a quick little cold open thing as we talk about, as we laugh about the dream I had about hair or whatever. But
not with your
then,
mom in the room.
then it quickly devolved. So, um, I'm,
Hopefully it was interesting.
yeah, I'm back, everyone. Hi. It's been a
Welcome
while,
back.
but I'm glad to be back.
I'm
So,
glad you're back.
um,
So do you want to set an intention for going forward? This one's a backwards episode. Are you going to call it that? I feel like it's backwards.
it's backwards.
We can put the greeting at the end. We should have said bye, be you every day at the beginning.
No. Yeah, I like that idea. It's a backwards episode. What should our intention be? Like, is this an intention back in time for everything that we just talked about, or is this an intention for the future?
I think this is an intention for the future.
Intention
Like if
for the
whenever
future?
we're listening to this episode, what is
Okay.
our future as we step away from hearing this episode?
My intention is to take something else in sometime in the next day, we'll say day, and turn it backwards, whatever that
Ooh.
means. So,
That's fun.
do something opposite the way you normally would. Flip it backwards.
Okay, I know what I'm going to do. Thank you for that challenge. I know
Yeah.
what I'm going to try. It's something that I have been wanting to do or telling myself I'm going to try since 2016.
Oh my gosh. You just needed this one push. Who
I
knew?
guess so.
Who knew?
And it'll be another thing that I'll have to post a picture on social media for.
Okay. What is it? Can you say,
Yeah,
or
I
is
can
it
tell.
a surprise?
No, I can tell you what it is.
Okay.
So I learned the Zentangle method in 2016, and they talk about how it's good for your brain to use your non-dominant hand to tangle.
Okay.
And I've always been intrigued by that. I think it's going to be terrible. It's going to be very challenging at the very least, but I'm excited to try it, and I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna commit to that.
All right.
Also, can I tell you one other thing that I discovered today that made me giggle?
Yeah.
Did you know that if you spell muffins backwards, it's what you want to do when they come out of the oven?
Oh, sniff them.
Yes. On that note, oh, thanks for joining us today. Bye, be you every day.
Bye.
You can find us on social media. We actually have a Facebook page and an Instagram account now
Oh.
for Hypothetically Intentional.
Oh my
You
gosh.
can still
and yeah,
find us. Yeah,
You
go
can
ahead.
see all our grams instantly.
Right? I know. Yeah, you can still find us at jidwellness.com and on the other social media channels. But Hypothetically Intentional now exists. We should put that in the credits.
Yeah, we should.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, everyone. Bye. Be you every day.
Bye.